At the start of this film, we see a scientist has made a robotic dog. The robot embodies advanced next-generation artificial intelligence. Then the scene changes and we see bike racing. A boy named Miles was also in the race, but his bike breaks down. So he asks for help from an opposite team, but they didn't help him. Meanwhile, a girl named Sarah arrives there. She helps Miles to repair his bike. After it, Miles starts bike racing and luckily he wins the bike racing. Then we see a boy named Sam. He invites Miles to a party at his home tonight, but Miles doesn't want to go to that party. Then he comes to know that Sarah will also be there, so he accepts the invitation. Going there, he sees that Sam is bad-mannered. He was setting everything on fire just for fun. Then Miles goes to the bike collection place of Sam, while following Miles. Sarah also arrives there and they start talking. The scene changes, and we see the scientist who made robotic dog, whose name was AXL. He was worried because his robotic dog had fled somewhere. He receives a call from military. They says you have made an illegal weapon. The government will take its custody and we will take strict action against you. Actually, this project was funded by military and that scientist made AXL without telling anyone. Scientist asks for 2 days to find the AXL. After it, we see Sam and Miles. Sam says to Miles that we are going to the hills. We will enjoy ourselves there. Going there, Sam and Miles start talking, and getting a chance, Sam's friend pours a soft drink in his bike's fuel tank, because Sam's purpose was to insult him. As Miles starts to show off his bike stunts, a problem arises in his bike and he fell in a ditch. After insulting Miles, Sam leaves from there without taking Miles with them. Miles feels bad on this. He makes himself fine and moves to his bike. As he was leaving from there, he notices a huge container and some voices were coming out of it. Miles goes near it and sees something strange. That was none other than that AXL dog. When Axel sees Miles, it starts chasing him. Miles was driving his bike speedily without caring about anything, but even that dog does not leave him and accidentally Axel fell down there. Miles feels bad when Axel fell. He goes to Axel and sees that it is a dog-shaped robot. Miles says to it that don't worry, I will not harm you. I will make you fine. With it, Miles starts checking it and takes out a rod from it. Miles comes to know that this robot ran from the place where it was created, and there must be a reason behind it. Now they become good friends. Axel has the qualities of dog, so it behaves like it. On another side, Sarah asks Sam that what have you done with Miles and where is he? Sam says that I haven't done anything and actually he deserves it. Sam tells her the place where he left Miles last time. On another side, Miles and Axel were playing and the scientist was also seeing all this through that Axel robot. Seeing Axel behavior toward Miles, he decides to prove the military that his robot is not dangerous and it can live with humans. But the military say that it is illegal and you have to give its custody to us. But the scientist have already decided to prove his robot innocent. His companions forbid him, but he didn't stop. On the other side, Sarah also arrives to Miles, but Axel comes in anger as it sees Sarah. It barks at her, but Miles says it to stop. She is my friend and she will not harm you. After it, he says to Sarah to come here and talk to Axel. Here Sarah and Axel also become friends. As the night falls, Axel plays music with its technology and creates a joyful environment there. Sarah and Miles enjoys a lot. The next morning, Miles thinks that we have to move from here, so they make Axel sit in their truck. When they reaches to petrol pump, Miles realizes that he had no money, but now they have Axel with them. It hacks the system and gives some money to Miles with it. Miles buys some food items and refuels their truck. Then they go to a remote hideout that Sarah uses as an art studio. Axel was also showing something to them. Those were some graphical representations stored in it. They come to know that it wasn't an ordinary robot. It is made for the use of the army and it will be used as a weapon. Axel presents Miles with a device which takes a blood sample and completes the pairing process. Means Axel will now follow Miles' order. Meanwhile, Sam comes there to tease Sarah because she has befriended with Miles. When Sam becomes aggressive with Miles, Axel comes in anger and attacks on Sam. Meanwhile, the companions of the scientist says to him that we have to go here. otherwise Axel could harm anyone. The scientist says no. Now we have the chance to see that what will Axel do. Axel attacks Sam and Miles uses the situation to threaten him, telling him to leave Sarah alone. Sarah is angry that Miles has inflamed an already bad situation. Leaving Axel, they go back to Miles' home and tell his father about the robot. He advises them to return it to its owners. Meanwhile, Sam returns with his crew and burns Axel with a flamethrower. Sarah sees the live recording on her phone and she and Miles take off to save him. Sarah and Miles go to that place, but till then, Axel was burned. But Axel gives them a location to get him repaired. After it got repaired, it has to reboot the system, in which it wants 2.5 hours. But the scientist gets its location and he has sent his companions there, so that they will search for Axel and bring it to him, but Miles doesn't want this. He was praying that it will reboot soon. As Axel reboots, it recalls being burned with a flamethrower, and races off to kill Sam. Miles and Sarah rush to stop him. Sam and his friends are partying when Axel arrives. Sam tries again to burn it with the flamethrower, but the fuel runs out. Miles and Sarah arrives there and convince Axel not to kill Sam. Suddenly many drone arrives there that was sent by that scientist to control Axel. Scientist tries to override Miles' control over Axel, but fails. When Miles refuses to reveal where the remote is, scientist programs Axel to attack Sarah, but Sarah manages to convince Axel not to attack her, by reminding him of how she drew a feather at the hideout. But then the army and the government people come there. They arrest the scientist for doing this illegal work. They were moving towards Axel. Sarah makes Miles and Axel to flee, and she herself comes out to surrender in front of the army. Miles and Axel are running towards the forest, but the army helicopters were also chasing them. They race through hilly terrain, but Miles falls down from his motorbike. Due to it, his elbow was fractured. He says to Axel that you have to leave from here. I don't want anybody harms you. Axel obeys and tries to get as far away as possible before self-destruction. Last time, it zooms to Miles and sees him, as it wants to saying to him that you supported me and you are my good friend. With it, Axel destroys itself and Miles was looking at it being depressed. 6 weeks later, that scientist has been imprisoned for violating national security and endangering the lives of civilians. An army captain comes to him. She asks him that we are feeling like Axel is again activating itself. Captain says we need your help and tell us what is the solution for it. Then the scientist was taken out of jail. On another side, Sarah and Miles have gone to college with scholarships provided by the military. Actually, it is to buy their silence and to keep an eye on them. Sarah hands him an envelope. Miles opens it and pulls out a note from his dad saying, "This is yours." He flips the envelope upside down and Axel's remote falls out into his hand. He asks Sarah if he should press it. The device uploads an Axel app onto their phones. They realize that Axel has somehow survived and is trying to return to them, and here the movie ends. I hope that you liked the video. Thanks for watching and have a nice day.